Hi everyone, Corey Still from StillSpinning.ca here. I'm here with the incredibly talented Nathan James from the UK band Inglorious. Thanks so much for joining, Nathan.
Thank you for having me, man. Nice to see you.
I'm very excited about this. I've been wanting to talk with you for quite a while, so big fan. Ever since the first album, you've had lots of stuff going on. You have a couple albums. You had some band members change. You had another couple albums come out. And your new album comes out on September 10th on Frontiers Records. It's an album called Heroine. It's a collection of songs, of cover songs from various female artists that have influenced you in the band. And also it comes, your previous album, which was all originals, it was an album called We Will Rise that was released in February. So very exciting stuff. My first question for you is, why a covers album and why now?
The reason was actually came from our record label, Frontiers. As part of our deal, they wanted us to do a covers album.
Yep.
And initially they were like asking us to do covers of the kind of more obvious songs that you'd expect us to do: Deep
Right.
Purple, White Snake,
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, and that just didn't excite me. I didn't feel like that was what I wanted to do. And obviously we had a lot of time given lockdown to get back in the studio. That was the one thing we were allowed to do, was be in a studio and make music. So
Right.
I came up with the idea about doing a female covers album, and then we banged it out earlier this year, and now it's coming out. So yeah, we recorded it straight after We Will Ride come out, actually.
Oh, cool. And like you have some interesting vocalists here that you're covering. Obviously, like more of the traditional stuff that you'd think of, like Evanescence and Hailstorm and those kinds of bands. But then you got like Whitney Houston and Christina Aguilera, some big voices there, right? So was it hard to pick the tracks and the artists, or was this or are these something that were sort of always on your mind in the background?
Well, my taste in music is quite eclectic, and my taste in talent especially is eclectic. I like skill, I like singers that really care about their voices and really are the best.
Yeah.
So for me to pick those was kind of obvious, because it's quite a versatile group, but they're all still amazing.
Yeah.
I think what I struggled with was we started a Spotify playlist, and I kept adding things to it to be like, okay, maybe we could do this. Maybe the list hit like 50 songs, and I was like, can't do 50 songs, so
Yeah.
I had to keep editing it down, and eventually we got to this list. But there's so many people that I've missed off that I want to do. Like Pat Benatar, Stevie Nicks, Cher, Lady Gaga. There's so many amazing female artists out there that we can cover. So maybe in the future we'll do some more.
That's great, and I think it's there's a lot more in the mainstream around the empowerment of women and things like that. I think it makes a really strong statement for not only you but for society. Did that play into it at all, or was it just you wanted to sort of pay homage to some of those great women vocalists?
I wanted to celebrate some of the voices and some of the people that have inspired me and have made me the musician I am today, because I think everyone's initial assumption is that I'm just inspired by the Coverdales and the Hugheses of the
Right.
world, which obviously I am, but there's way more to me as a singer and way more to me as an artist than just those kind of guys. So it was important to show that, especially someone like Ann Wilson,
Yeah,
she's
amazing.
She's just the best. She's amazing. There was nothing kind of behind it other than I really wanted to do it, and it seemed like a fun thing to do, and it was less boring than us doing an album of classic rock covers.
yeah. Well, stellar. I think it came out really great, and certainly it showcases your immense talents as well. But what was the easiest and conversely the hardest song for you to record on this album?
They were all pretty hard, in their own ways. But
Yeah.
I'm singing some vocals by the best singers of all time, especially Whitney, Christina.
For sure.
And I didn't want chicken out of those riffs and runs that they do, because I feel like that's the first thing people would say. They'd be like, "Oh, he didn't do that," or "Oh, he didn't do that." So I had to go for it. So yeah, that was quite daunting, singing Whitney Houston song, but also the really vulnerable ones as well. So like Avril Lavigne's "I'm With You," which is a song that I remember dancing to at my school prom. So it's huge nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of daunting as well, because it's a very different side of my voice, and it's a very different side of the band. But I think it's amazing that the versatility that it shows people that we have as a group.
For sure.
I can't. There's lots of great bands out there, but to be able to do an acoustic version of "Time After Time," "I'm With You" by Avril Lavigne, "Fighter" by Christina Aguilera, and "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence, I think that's what's impressing me about being in this band, is that I'm surrounded by such talent.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and certainly I was gonna ask you about that later on in the interview, but now since you brought it up, like, has the band evolved since the last sort of member change and stuff, in terms of evolving musically, performance based chemistry? It sounds like you kind of think like you guys are all hitting on all cylinders now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everyone in this band wants to be in a great band, and they want to be the best guitarist or bass player or drummer or singer they can be in a band. Previously, with other lineups, other people wanted to be up front.
Okay, right.
It's kind of well documented. They wanted to be a front man.
Sure.
It's not that easy. What can I say? It's really hard.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
It is hard. And now we have that team mentality, in that if I'm doing my best and he's doing his best and he's doing his best, then we can all be the best, and that's what's cool. Staying in your lane and focusing and just concentrating on writing the best material you can write, and playing the best, and bringing that live show energy, which is what we really do, because we're so comfortable. There's no friction. We all have huge respect for each other, and we're all consummate professionals, which I need. Professionalism is something that I've had to learn from being on tour with bands like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You can't be on that tour and be an idiot. You have to be a professional. So I expect that from everyone who comes into this band as well.
That's key, especially for any band that has any kind of longevity to it. I mean, you get that sense of professionalism, the way they deal with media, the way they deal with the record companies, the way they appear on social media or whatever, right? And you talk about your experience with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Are there key moments or key lessons learned that you think that you sort of learn from that, and then you evolve to something better than maybe you were before that experience?
What I liked about TSO is that Paul O'Neill literally handpicked the best team in the world. So he picked the best sound engineers, he picked the best lighting guy, he picked the best musicians, the best singers, the best tour bus drivers, the best catering company. Everyone in his team was the best. Great. And that's why it works.
Awesome.
Like it runs so smoothly. Like they're running two different bands in two sides of the country, doing 2 shows a day.
Yeah.
4 shows a day that machine can do.
Awesome.
And it is without a hitch. It's unbelievable to be a part of.
Cool. I mean, you would be able to learn everything from how to prepare yourself as a musician to get up on stage, to the business side of it, to the transportation side of it, to the, as you say, you could learn basically the entire business, if you will, from that one experience, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely, and make friends for life and connections. It's where I met Jeff Scott Soto, who's actually guesting on this album. Jeff sings on our Evanescence cover, "Bring Me to Life," and I love him. as a person. I love his voice, so I'm really lucky to have him on this record. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, super. I mean, everybody knows Jeff Scott DeSoto, right? So that's an awesome get for sure, and it adds something to the song. And getting back to the album for a second, I really like how, yeah, you can tell what song it is that you're singing, but really you still make it your own, right? And you still adds that little heaviness maybe to it that you weren't expecting. But at the end of the day, it still sounds like Inglorious singing. So you made it your own. Like, so some of my personal favorites on the album is the Bring Me to Life, Fighter by Christina Aguilera, which was amazing. I love that. I love her version of the song, and I love your version of the song as well. And then Hate Myself for Loving You has always been a awesome track. I've loved that song since it originally came out by Joan Jett. What are some of your favorites from the album?
My favourites are kind of the unexpected ones. So, Fighter by Christina Aguilera. I think dudes will see that in their 50s and go, Christina Aguilera, I'm not listening to that. But if they give it a chance, it is an out-and-out rock song.
Yeah. Right?
It's a rock song. It's got a guitar solo. It's got heavy riffs. It's got big vocals.
That's right.
It's got an angry message, like
Absolutely.
it's a rock song. Same goes for Queen of the Night by Whitney.
Yeah.
These are rock songs. These aren't pop songs. So I kind of enjoy that. I kind of enjoy bringing that, I don't know, almost like sassy power to it. Do you know what I mean? There's such amazing female anthems, and I think we just gave it a bit more, I don't know, grit, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. And the one song Fighter, which I really like the added grit to that song, and that I have family members that have gone through, that have had cancer, that were fighting cancer, and they would often listen to that Christina Aguilera song Fighter as to sort of pump them up and give them the strength to continue on, right? So and your version of the song as because it's a little harder, it adds a little bit more to that, and I could see that resonating with a lot of folks that are going through not necessarily just cancer, but any tough times, and taking that song and sort of keeping that close to their heart, if you will, and sort of giving them the strength. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that song a great deal.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like it's all of the songs on there we picked for a reason. They have to mean something, and they have to resonate with me because I'm singing them as well. So
yeah.
I had to connect with each song on a level, and the same with Fighter in particular. My grandma's been really ill, so I actually kind of dedicate that
nice.
in the album notes to her because, I think. Yeah, you always feel like a fighter if you're in a young rock band in 2021, let me tell you.
Indeed, man. We'll keep fighting for sure. And you guys, not only do you release, Heroine on September 10th, you also start a short UK tour on September 10th. What are some of the tracks off of Heroine that you guys are excited about trying to pull off live?
We've done 2 festivals already. This summer we did one at the weekend. It was a biker festival, which was kind of cool. And I was a little bit apprehensive about putting in a Miley Cyrus cover. But they liked it. So
that's great.
Yeah, we did Miley Cyrus Night Sky. We did Barracuda. As soon as you start that riff, everyone in the world knows that song.
For sure.
And we did Uninvited by Alanis Morissette because. Yeah, the way we do it is so kind of heavy and dark. Someone actually just wrote in a review the other day that had an almost Zeppelin type feel to it, which is kind of what we were going for. That very haunting, eerie, type style.
That was a great track actually, and that was probably the one that was a little further off of the original than maybe some of the other ones, and I found it really interesting that track, especially Alanis Morissette being Canadian. I know Alanis Morissette very well, so I like that track a lot, and very well done for the dark and Zeppelin-esque tones of that track for
Thanks,
sure.
Man. There's 2 Canadians on this.
Yes, that's right.
Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Avril Lavigne as well. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you got like slightly under 20% Canadian content on that album. So good. Now, you said you've done a couple of performances, in the past little while, some festivals. Um, how has the pandemic and all of that? How has that changed the live performance from a performer's standpoint?
it's ruined it for me because
Oh yeah,
I love meeting people. I
yeah,
love going up to people after every show and hugging them and saying thank you for coming and thanking them for keeping this dream alive. Keeping putting food on our tables. This is my
yeah,
living. So
yeah.
it's I feel like I like to thank them. And I know this tour I'm not going to be able to do that, and that's really weird. Coming off stage and just going and sitting in your dressing room and then getting on your tour bus is going to be a very strange experience.
Yeah,
Half of
there's a
the
lot of bands that have,
for me, I love people. I love seeing people, and I love them coming up to me and having a picture and signing stuff. That's so much fun.
yeah, yeah, and hopefully we get back to that point at some point, because I think that that's that's part of that sort of that new classic rock sort of vibe that when bands do that, I think they're trying to get back closer to the fans, and I think that resonates well with everyone in the industry, right? So good on you, and certainly certainly hope that stuff gets back. Obviously, I was going to ask you about what you thought the best thing at touring would be, but based on that, other than the actual performance itself, that's got to be the best then.
Yeah, and seeing the boys like we were in the studio to record We Will Ride at the beginning of the pandemic last year, and then it was only in the studio this time. The boys recorded all of their parts, all the guitar parts were recorded at home on this album. So
Okay.
we haven't spent time together, we haven't done the things that we like doing as a band. We haven't gone out and had a drink or
Yeah.
talk,
And
talk.
do you guys think you're going to be able to do a little bit of that on this tour, going out and hanging out, or?
We can hang out in the hotel or in the tour bus, but
Yeah.
there won't be any. Yeah, there won't be any meeting anyone really. It's going to be
Yeah.
very closed backstage. If one person, even if it's our bus driver or our sound guy or whatever, gets COVID, the whole tour is come to a
Yeah,
halt.
that sucks. Yeah.
So you'd have to just be extra vigilant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, until such time as stuff opens, the music will have to carry us all through. So, at least we have that, and at least things are opening up a little bit in the UK in order to so that you can do shows and people can come see live music again. So that part is great. Now, getting back to the album for a sec, what was the concept around the album cover? Lots of people love the artwork on album covers, and you guys, all your album covers were really cool. This one is sort of like like an Egyptian almost sort of. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. For those of you that are going to go buy it, which I hope all of you will, there's what it looks like. So, killer.
So it's actually Athena, the goddess. It's her helmet and it's her profile there you can see.
Yeah.
And the reason why there's two is because it's like a reflection. Do you know what I mean? This album is a reflection of the artist we're doing. So that's kind of where it came
That's
from.
awesome.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
super cool idea.
That's a great. That's an amazing concept, actually. Like, who came up with the idea?
That was me who came up with it, but I'm not an artist by any means. So we had an art guy put it together with me. But yeah, I like what she stood for. She was a very strong goddess. She was a super important person in that mythology. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's where it comes from.
Oh, that's cool answer, man. And I even like it even more now that I know the actual meaning behind it. So that's great. Now there's lots been made about your your incredible vocal range and I think it's like, what is it, 5 octaves and stuff you can sing comfortably in.
I don't know if it's comfortable.
Push yourself.
No, I've got a big range, but that's taken me a very long time. Like I wasn't born with a big range. I was actually quite a low singer as a child and as a teenager. Um, and then I just worked at it. As soon as I heard Freddie Mercury sing for the first time, I just became obsessed with stretching my voice. And like,
Okay.
I just wanted as much in the toolbox as possible so that when I could go to sing, I wanted to be able to, anything that I could imagine writing, I wanted to be able to sing.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
And that's what I kept doing. I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing until I could.
So what? Yeah. So like, I was going to ask you about that. Like, how did you hone that ability over time? Like, as you say, if you wanted to sing something, how did you hone that ability and make it what it is today?
I've had lessons since I was 13
Oh wow. Okay.
with the same singing teacher.
Oh, awesome.
And she is amazing. She's absolutely incredible. She's the first person in my thank yous on this album. It's an album celebrating women, so I just did all female thank yous.
Nice.
And yeah, her name's Juliet, and she gave me the tools really to kind of to start. She gave me a lot of good techniques. She drilled into me the importance of vocal health and hydration and all the little secrets that you learn about your voice. I'm not a perfect student. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still do things that I'm not supposed to do.
Yeah.
I drink. I have a good time. I party. I live my life. But it's about balance, right?
For sure.
I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to be in my 70s and still be able to do this.
Right.
But I also want to have a good time.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. That's and so have you always known that you wanted to be a singer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally from school, I was 10 years old and my headmaster heard me singing in school assembly, and he made me stay behind after the assembly and pulled me into the office, and I was like, oh no, what have I done? And he basically said that I have a really strong singing voice, and then he called my parents in and told them, and they then set about. I was in a choir. I went onto a kind of professional choir.
Yeah.
And then I went to a stage school and started doing shows and stuff. And then, yeah, from then on, I knew. As soon as my first ever live performance in front of an audience was with an orchestra in front of 1,500 people at a school concert.
Nice.
And you see the moment that I fell in love with it in the video. When I step up to the microphone and all the people are looking, and the orchestra are there, and you just see me smile like I've never smiled before. Like it was the one.
That's awesome.
I didn't really fit in at school.
Yeah.
So like, I knew in that moment that I found the thing I was going to do for the rest of my life. Like I loved it.
Awesome. That and if you have that moment on video forever. That's pretty cool, man. Like you can point right back to it. Yeah. That's awesome.
So.
Cool. And so getting back to the band and how everybody's coming together, even the pandemic or whatever, in terms of the evolution of the band since the new guys joined. I call them new guys, but they've been around now a long time with you. How do you think the evolution of the band is gonna impact the next Inglorious album? The next time you sit down and start writing for the next one, how do you think that evolution is gonna impact things?
I think it's getting tighter all the time. Genuinely, I do think every show we play, we become a better band. Every time we're together, we become tighter. And I really do love these people. Like Danny, the guitarist, was actually our guitar tech for a couple of years before he joined.
Oh, neat. Okay.
So he's
been around.
He's been around.
Yeah.
He actually covered a song from our first album, Until I Die, on YouTube when he was like 15.
Awesome. That's
right?
cool.
So I remember seeing this video of this kid and thinking, wow, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I bumped into him at a couple of shows, and then when he was a bit older, I said, look, we need a guitar tech. Do you want to come on tour? He came on tour, and now he's in the band. It's like like the ultimate rock and roll story, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have a great respect for each other. I've seen how hard they've all worked, and I appreciate that because like I said, it's not taken me 5 minutes to learn to sing like this. It's taken me 20 years. So
sure.
I expect everyone else to be as dedicated to that as I am.
For sure. Yeah, well, every album you put out is absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to actually being able to catch an Inglorious show at some point. And hopefully things will open up a bit, and either I can go there or you guys can make a North American sort of jaunt over here. But I think that Inglorious would travel well here. I think in North, especially in Canada, which likes maybe the rock music a little bit more than the U.S. at least on the radio side, anyways. Certainly looking forward to hearing more from you guys. I really appreciate the time. I know you're off to another one, so I'll cut it off there. But I want to say thank you for the time. Love the new album. For those people that are listening and watching, please go check it out and go buy the album. Go buy all their albums. They're awesome. Go buy the merch. Help support Nathan and the rest of the guys in Inglorious. Rock music isn't dead. You just got to find it. And Inglorious is an absolute fantastic band. And if you haven't heard them before, definitely got to go check it out. So thanks for everything, Nathan, and thanks for doing this. And hopefully we can do this again soon, man. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, please, buddy. Have a great day.
All right. Peace, man. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Bye.